Here's your title page. You have one title to add, triangle congruence postulates. While you're doing that, I need to collect your homework. Did you turn yours in? Do you have it? You turned yours in. You dropped yours off yesterday afternoon. All right. And I already have Princess's. She turned hers in for me already. As of right now, all grades are updated to where they need to be. Okay. All right. Yesterday we worked on how to label congruent triangles. Now we're going to work on how do we prove that they are congruent. You need 3 pieces of information to prove triangles congruent. So we are going to start with this foldable. As soon as it pops up here. Okay. We're going to start with this one. These are all of your congruent statements. If you flip it over, you're going to cut out this box. Okay. So start there. Cut out the big box where all the pictures are. Do not cut them into strips. Can I get a trash can? Yes, ma'am. Once you cut out the big triangles, you're going to fold the titles into the center to cover up the pictures, and then you're going to cut yourself little flaps. Bless you. guys haven't heard yet as well, we are having a winter spirit week now, just like homecoming, but it's all winter themed. Very excited. Did you all get to dress up again, just like we did for homecoming week? Have they told you guys about this yet?
No.
See if you can find it while you're cutting. Winter Spirit Week. So Winter Spirit Week is not going to be next week. It will be the week after, the week of December 11th through the 14th. Monday is going to be Candy Cane Day. Tuesday, the 12th, is going to be Snow Day, which means you can wear hats, coats, scarves, and winter gear. The 13th on Wednesday is Santa's Workshop. The seniors should be dressed up as Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Juniors are reindeer, sophomores are elves, and freshmen are Christmas trees or presents.
We're going to be elves.
Thursday, the 14th, is Christmas Movie Character Day. So come dressed as like the Grinch or the little kid from Home Alone, anything from a Christmas movie. And Friday the 15th is Ugly Christmas Sweater Day.
Oh, I don't have any of this. I'm good.
I don't have any of those either.
I'm gonna just
But I'm sure I can
one.
go buy one at
Right.
like Goodwill or something.
Or I'll make my own.
There you
Get
go.
an old sweater, put like ugly things on it.
Okay. So we've got some fun things coming up. I might even do bonus points for participation that week.
Are you gonna just like no?
At least a little elf hat.
Yeah, borrow.
There
You
you
already
go.
know I'm gonna come all
You
out.
don't have to go full out elf, but a little elf hat.
I
I'll probably wear my t-shirt that I bought for Christmas because my husband and myself and the baby are dressing up. We bought shirts. Mine has little legs on it. It says Mommy Elf. My husband says Daddy Elf and hers says Baby Elf. And we're going to get Christmas pictures taken in them. So,
family elf.
okay. All right. So, can I prove these triangles congruent? If you open up this flap, okay, you need 3 sets. You need 3 sets of corresponding congruent parts. Thank you, gentlemen. 3 sets of corresponding congruent parts. Remember, this symbol here means congruent parts. Okay? Corresponding congruent parts to prove 2 triangles congruent. Okay. Our goal is to look at 2 triangles and say, do I have the right set of information to say that this triangle is congruent to this triangle? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different postulates that you can use to prove them congruent. Five sets of information. Okay. Questions so far? Okay, move over to the right. This is your first postulate. Side, side, side. If you can tell me that all 3 of your sides of both triangles are congruent, then your triangles are congruent. So the way that they prove that, remember those dashes we drew yesterday? Okay, that's how they prove it. So this side is congruent to this side. They both have a dash on it. Okay. This side is congruent to this side. They have double dashes. This side is congruent to this side. So if you're given those 3 pieces of information, you can prove these are congruent. So you have 3 congruent sides. So these are congruent by what we call the side, side, side postulate. Okay, they shorthand it as SSS. Okay, so if I label this triangle ABC and I label this one DEF, you're going to have to tell me triangle ABC is congruent to triangle what? ABC
To F.
EFD. Okay, be careful where you started. A starts in between 2 and 3. E starts in between 2 and 3. Okay, from A, I went across 2. So from E, I have to go across 2. And from B, I went across 1. So from F, I go across 1. So this is congruent to triangle EFD. So be very careful on how you name them. It has to go by congruent angles, or else it is wrong. This is one of the easiest postulates to recognize. Okay. All right, let's move over here to side, angle, side. Notice where angle is. Where is angle? In the what?
Middle.
In the middle, right in between the sides. Okay, so angle is in the middle. So in your picture, your angle must be in the middle of the 2 sides. See how the angle falls in between my 2 sides in both of my pictures.
Yeah.
Okay, so to use side, angle, side, the angle must be in between. So for this postulate, you've got 2 pair of congruent sides and the included angle, which means the angle in between. Okay, so it can't be one of these angles on the side. It has to go in between your 2 sides. It has to be the corner where your 2 sides meet. And again, they call this side, angle, side.
SAS.
SAS. This is the Jasmine postulate. SAS. Okay, so if I told you triangle FBC is congruent to what? FBC. KSI. Perfect. Okay. So what normally happens is you get a picture that looks like this, and you need to be able to look at it and say, yes, they are congruent because of side, angle, side. Then they might come across and say, what is congruent to triangle ABC? And you'll need to tell them it's triangle DEF. Okay. Questions on this one? Okay. Take a look at this one then. Angle, side, angle. Where does the side need to be then?
In between the angle.
In between the 2 angles. Again, your S is in the middle. So Take a look at your picture here. My side falls right in between the two angles. Okay, so you have to have two pair, or a pair. You have to have a pair. I'm sorry, no, two pair of congruent angles. Okay, one pair, two pair, and the included side. The side in between. Okay. And again, this is angle, side, angle. Okay, you must have two pair of congruent angles. Okay, so here is angle 1, here is angle 2, and the included side, the side that falls in between the two angles. Okay, so if I tell you triangle VJN, I labeled it. Okay, so triangle VJN is congruent to triangle what?
LTS.
LTS. Perfect.
Oh crap.
Okay. Questions on this one? We have two more that work, and we're going to talk about two that do not work. Okay. The next one on the left, it says hypotenuse.
Isn't it that line with the
It's the long line of your triangle. It's across from what? What angle is it across from? The 90-degree angle. Good. Your hypotenuse is across from your 90-degree angle. And then a leg can be either one of the other two sides. Okay, they're both called legs. You'll have a long leg and a short leg. It doesn't matter which one's which, okay, for this theorem. So you need a hypotenuse and a leg. Okay? So this looks like this. Okay, in order to use hypotenuse leg, the first thing you have is a right angle. You must have a right angle in each triangle. Okay, so you must have this little box here that tells me that these are right triangles. Okay, that these are right angles.
Is it okay if we write out the word angle? Because I kind of get lost.
Yes, that's fine. Do not shorthand it if you'd like to write out the word angle. Okay. The second piece you must have is congruent hypotenuse. You must have congruent hypotenuse and a congruent leg. Okay, so in this picture, I've got congruent hypotenuse and congruent leg along with my right angle. Okay, if it is not a right triangle, you cannot use hypotenuse leg. Okay, you cannot. It is only good for right triangles. Okay, again, they shorthand this as hypotenuse leg, HL. And triangle JLS. I'm just making up letters. So if we have triangle, let's say LST is congruent, or I'm sorry, that's J. LSJ is congruent to triangle. I want LSJ. WET. Okay. Take a look where angle L falls here. It falls in between your leg that's congruent and the hypotenuse that's congruent. So the angle that matches over here is angle W. Okay. I went from L across the hypotenuse, so I have to go from W across the hypotenuse and then down to T. Okay, so be very careful with that. Questions? Okay, one more set that works. Angle, angle, side. Where's the side at now?
Oh, at the bottom.
It's at the bottom, okay? It's not going to be in between the two angles. So the side is not in between. So you need two pair of congruent angles and the non-included side. Which just means not in between. Angle, angle, side. Okay, so this side does not fall in between my two angles. I've got two pairs of congruent angles, and this side does not fall in between this time. It's on the outside of the two.
Where's the right? There's no wire.
Turn around.
What are you doing there? Where's the reading?
Okay, so let's do okay, so let's try triangle CAB is congruent to triangle. I want CAB. So it's what? SKD. Perfect. And just like everything else in the world, you've got things that work and things that won't work. Okay? So we've talked about the 5 postulates that work. We have 2 that do not. The first one is down here. Side, side, angle. Without saying it, what does this spell backwards? O. Okay. We don't swear in math class, so anytime that you would go ahead and try to write this swear word, don't do it. It doesn't work. Okay. So this looks like this on the inside. Triangles cannot be proved congruent. This is not a postulate. So these triangles are not congruent. Side, side, angle does not work. We do not swear in math class. Okay. So anytime you have 2 sides and 1 angle and the angle is not in between the sides, it does not work. Okay, the only way you can have two sides in an angle is if the angle falls in between. So the angle would have to be here if this were to work. Okay, then it would be side, angle, side. Okay, the other one
Angle, angle, angle.
is angle, angle, angle. How many of you have heard of the roadside assistance AAA?
Oh,
Okay, you can't call AAA in math class either. They're not going to come fix your flat tire. So angle, angle, angle also does not work. Okay, this is not a postulate. These are not congruent. When we talk about similar triangles, this postulate will work. Okay, these triangles can be similar because your angles don't change if you make an object bigger or smaller. Your angles stay the same, but it's not going to tell you that your triangles are the same exact size. One could be bigger, one could be smaller. Okay, any questions on these postulates?
No.
Okay, this goes in on page 85 in your notebook.
Okay, I can feel better.
And when you're done with that, we're going to jump to this page. What we're going to do on this page while you're gluing that in, we're going to look at each one of these and see if we can name your congruence postulates from just looking at the pictures. We have no right triangles in this, so we're not going to use hypotenuse leg, but we can use side, angle, side, 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 angle, side, angle, 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 side, or you're going to tell me it's not congruent because it uses side, side, angle, or angle, angle, angle. Okay. We're going to do the top three together, and then I want to give you a couple of minutes to do the other ones on your own and see what you come up with. Okay, so take a look at number one. Look at the information you have. You have two sides and an angle. Think about where your angle is in terms of those two sides. Which postulate is this, or is it not congruent? Side, angle, side. Your angle is in between your two sides, so this is side, angle, side. Okay. Number two, think about the information that you have. You've got two angles and a side. So you can't use this, you can't use this. You don't have more than one side. So my options are either this, or not congruent. Look where your side falls in terms of your angles. Is it in between or is it off to the side? Which postulate is this, or is this not congruent? Angle, angle, side. Your side is not in between, it's on the outside. So this is angle, angle, side. Okay. And finally, the third one, look at the information you have. You have two angles and one side. Okay, so I only have one side, so I cannot use this one, cannot use this one, I can either use this one, or this one. Pay attention to where the side falls. What postulate is this, or is this not congruent? Where's your side at, Janiyah? Is it outside the two angles or in between? In between. So the S has to be in between your two A's. Okay, so this is angle, side, angle. If the side falls in between, the S has to fall in between. If the side falls to the side of it, the side goes off to the side. Okay. Try 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 on your own. See what you can come up with. And then we will go over it. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Okay. Go fast. What we're doing is you need to look at these and you need to be able to tell me, is this showing side, angle, side, 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 angle, side, angle, 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 side, or is this just not congruent? So, take a look at the pieces of information you have. You have two sides and an angle. Okay, so SAS. Okay, you have two angles and a side. Think about where the side is at. Okay, two angles and a side. So they're working on these ones on their own to see what they can come up with. While you're working too, please do not forget that you have a parallel lines project that is due December 15th. Okay, that's not this upcoming Friday, it is the following Friday. You are now at the 2-week mark. Okay, you've been given 3 weeks. You are now at the 2-week mark. If you have not started your project, I suggest we get started. If you need my help after school, you are welcome to come and see me. And I will gladly assist you with anything that you need. But you need to make the effort to come see me. Okay.
What days do you say?
Next week is going to be Wednesday, Thursday. And I'll be here a little bit Friday after school. But again, we don't have the after school bus on Friday. So if you're staying Friday, you just have to have your own ride home. I don't mind if you stay because I'm going painting after school with Miss Porter. And that doesn't start till 6, so I will be here.
So what time are you here on Friday?
I mean, really, I can stay until probably 5. But again, you just have to have your own ride home. I do not mind having you stay on Friday. There's just no activity bus to take you home. Take a look at number 4. We have 2 sides and an angle. Is the angle in between your sides?
No.
No. So it cannot be side, angle, side. If it was side, angle, side, Elijah, your angle would be right here. Okay?
It's not congruent.
So this is side, side, angle, which spelled backwards is our square word. So this is not congruent. Okay? This is not congruent.
Number 5 is SSS.
Number 5 is the easiest one. If they show all 3 of your sides, side, side, side. And number 6, you have 2 angles and a side. Pay attention to where your side is in terms of your angles.
It is not congruent because
It is congruent.
it is because it has that little side thing up. What?
This is angle, angle, side. Okay. It doesn't matter that when you look at it, it's side, angle, angle. I can still label it angle, angle, side. Okay. Please do not let that confuse you. Number 7, you got 2 angles and a side. Pay attention to where the side falls. Angle, side, angle. Your side is in between.
Number 8 is not congruent because
8 is not congruent because your angle is off to the side. It is not in between. So this one also squares. So this is not congruent.
this one is SAS.
This one is side, angle, side. Perfect. This is the Jasmine postulate. SAS. Side, angle, side. Your angle falls in between your 2 sides. 10.
Not congruent.
This is also not congruent. This would be side, side, angle. And that's not congruent. Number 11. This is also not congruent. If you have absolutely no sides marked, it is not congruent. This is AAA.
This is AA. Number 12 is AAS.
Good. Number 12 is AAS. My side is not in between. It's off to the side. 13, Barley, is what?
Side, angle, side.
Side, angle, side. Perfect. Travis, what's 14? You've got 2 angles and a side. Think about where your side falls. Is the side off to the side of my angles, or is it in between? It's in between. So it's angle ASA. Angle, side, angle. My side is in between. Angle, side, angle. Okay, what about 15?
Not congruent.
This is not congruent. Okay, again, your angle falls to the outside, so this would be SSA, which is our square word backwards, and we do not swear in math class, so it does not work.
I kind of get it now.
Okay, this is going to go into your notebook on page 86. This is all the new information I have to give for you today.
And we're done.
You have an assignment to work on, and you are going to work till the end of the period. And if you finish said assignment, I need you to be working on your project and asking me any questions you may have on it. Okay? That is going to be your job for the rest of the day. Finish this and get it turned into me, and work on your project and ask me any questions that you may need. I will do the first problem with you. After that, you are off on your own, my friends.
You can use these notes, right?
Yes, you are welcome to use your notes. The only time you cannot use your notes is on tests and your final exam. Create a notebook for a reason so you can use it. Okay. All of these triangles on this page are congruent. Every last one of them. Okay, so number 1, if I tell you triangle ABC, what is that congruent to on this side? A, B, C. Take a look at where A falls.
RWI.
It's going to be RWI. A falls between the blank side and the 2 side. So I need R between the blank side and the 2 side. I go across the blank side. So I go across the blank side, R to W, and then finally to I. So this is RWI. What postulate is that using that we just learned? What postulate is that? Look at the information that they give you in your triangles. Okay. This is using SAS. Side angle side. This is SAS. Okay. What you're going to do once you do all of these. Number 1 was RWI. So you're going to go clear down to the bottom of the page where you see these ones. And the order that you put that in is going to go here. So RWI. Okay. This will spell out a sentence. When you are finished. Any questions on this assignment? Okay, you have the rest of the period to work on this and work on your parallel lines project.